Hello and welcome to Enjoy English School. I'm Stevie.
I am Betty.
Now today we've got a special lesson where Betty is going to take over because she rules the world and she is the queen of translation and grammar and spelling and all of that stuff. So we're looking at our sentence translation lesson today, right?
没错，今天呢要看翻译哦。那翻译是难得我会讲比较多，他会讲比较少的单元哦，所以他很开心。
Queen Betty.
Yay! But of course, I think this is a little bit difficult for students. 翻译 is never too fun for students.
真的很难，
真的很烦。
有时候
很难又烦，又烦又难，这样子都很痛苦哦。但你要学，因为会考。然后再来就是，我觉得翻译有一个好处，就是它可以帮助你更好的跟别人对话沟通，因为那个句子会变得更好一点点。
Yeah.
没错。
Always good to understand, right?
没错。那我们就进个广告，我们没有广告，但我们就休息一下。等一下回来，我们要来开始练习了哦。
Okay, we're back looking at our sentence translation.
Yay.
What do we do?
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about a new semester, the new semester. 好，那我们这里有一个题组有两句哦。我们先讲第一句，就是在新学期的开始。没错，同学，9月学期开始了，希望你不要太难过。许多学生很难早起去上学，那同学要注意哦，新学期的开始你要怎么翻呢？还有呢，很难早起去上学，你到底要怎么写才可以把很难跟早起这个放在同一个句子里面呢？我们先请 Stevie 帮我们翻一下。
Okay, at the start of a new semester, many students have a hard time getting up early for school.
没错，我们先把重点呢看一下哈，就比如说做什么有困难，在什么方面有困难，它其实是有一个片语可以背的，同学一定要背哦。来，这个是
Have a hard time doing something or have a hard time with something. So, have a hard time, we can say have a difficult time as well, but or have difficulty doing something, but have a hard time. I still have a hard time getting up early.
即使是他的工作要很早起，他还是觉得早起很难。每个人都觉得早起很难。
Sometimes, yeah.
最好是可以睡一天。好，那这个同学要注意哦，在中文翻译是做什么有困难，可是英文要写有困难，再讲做什么事，而且这个事情一定要是 ing。对
Yeah.
好，那还有其他的，我们等一下再来分析这个句子。然后学期的英文怎么讲？这也好难哦。学期。
Oh, semester.
semester 不好拼哦。那这个起床就比较简单了。
Get up.
没错，虽然是做起来很难啊。
Now, semester is what we're learning today for 学期, right?
对。
But it depends. If you are a school that has 2 semesters in a school year, then we call that a semester. But if it's broken up into more, then we might call it quarter. Like quarter 1/4嘛。
对。
So if you're on a quarter system, then we might say 一个学期是一个 quarter. But normally it's a semester.
When do we use, where do we use the quarter system?
Like when I was in high school, we went to a quarter system. So our semester was divided up into 2. And each one was a little bit longer. So our vacation was a little shorter. But 一个学期就是分2个 quarter.
所以好复杂哦。
Yeah.
它有它等于是4个小学期的概念。
Yeah, but some schools do that. In like America or maybe in Europe, I don't know. But in Taiwan, I think it's all semester.
对，
right?
没错。那除非你是美国学校，可能会走美国的系统，你可能会有比较长的假期，暑假假期，不然大家其实都是2个学期啦。
Yeah.
那再来的话，我们来看这个句子哦。你要说在学期开始，这个是 at the start of， 记得介系词是用 at，然后后面用 of。At the start of a new semester， 然后这里的话呢，很多学生有困难，先讲 have a hard time， 后面的动词记得加 ing，getting up early for school。所以这里要很注意。
Yeah.
那还有一个翻法，对不对
？We could say at the beginning of a new semester, many students have difficulty waking up early for school.
那这里的话 at the beginning 我觉得最难的地方是它的拼字，因为那个 beginning 它有2个 n， 我到大学还拼错。
Yeah, English is weird with that.
对啊，为什么会多那个一个 n 呢？但既然
I don't know. I have difficulty understanding that.
他自己也不知道，说明他自己也会拼错。对，但你考试不能拼错，因为我们会特别抓哈，就是 begin ning 2个 n。OK， 那你当然也可以说 have difficulty 或 have trouble 都可以。然后后面当然也是一样 waking up getting up。好，那我们来看第二句。第二句为了适应新学期，他们需要改变日常作息，并培养良好的学习习惯。这有一点复杂。为了适应新学期，所以你有个目的，目的的英文可以怎么去表达呢？然后再来呢，需要改变日常生活作息，需要后面有2件事情要做。第一个是改变日常作息，作息的英文；再来培养良好的学习习惯，培养的英文。然后你要再把这2个动词连接起来，所以你可能要有什么词连接词啊，一切都很复杂。我们请 Stevie 先翻。
Okay, so the first one I'm going to say is a little bit more difficult. Okay, 我觉得第一句比较难。In order to settle into the new semester, they need to change their daily routines and develop good study habits. So I feel like this sentence is a little more difficult.
比较高阶一点，我们等一下给你简单的。
比较正式一点。
对，比较正式。那我们这里来看一下哈，如果是为了要达成什么目的的话。
In order to do something, in order to understand, you need to try doing it.
Need to practice 之类的。
Yeah, you need to practice.
对，那这个 in order 你可以拿掉，那也可以放着这样子那它可以放句子前面，你可以把它移到后面去。好，那适应，我觉得这个字很难。
Okay, 适应 honestly, the most normal we have that we use is get used to doing something.
没错。
Okay, but also to settle into, if you're talking about a schedule or a new place, you know, to settle into, that would be to get used to. You know, they need to settle into their new school routine. And to settle means like
安顿下来。
Yeah. Like if you have a new house, okay, and you know the house we say it needs to settle. 它会多多少少 it's going to move a little bit and kind of, you know, settle down.
就是基本上呢，我知道你在讲那个意思，就是整个。你是说房子的地基啊，还是什么？你可能要住久了哈，它整个房子会更坚固啊、巩固啊。
It'll settle into something. It'll settle down. So we're going to use settle into something for this. Also, I just used the word routine.
这个很难这个 routine 就是惯例例行公事，所以你可以把它们2个搭在一起，就是适应某一种，比如说新的家、新的工作、新的计划、新的行程安排这样子。routine 这个字也不好念，它重音在后面，我觉得也是很难念。
Develop or routine?
Routine. Usually it's like routine.
Yeah, routine.
怪怪的这样哈，就是重音在后面哦。好，不要念 routine 会有点怪。然后再来培养的话。
That's develop.
对 ，that's develop.
So you need to develop a good routine and develop good study habits.
这个字也很难，我觉得这个字也蛮难的，所以我们再把它拼回去，就是为了要适应新学期，所以说 in order to， 然后把适应新学期我们刚才学到了，把它写上去，然后他们需要干嘛呢？ They need to，need 后面要加 to 才能再接另外一个动词，所以呢，他们要改变他们的日常生活习惯，change their daily routines， 因为是很多人的，所以 routine 要加 s， 每个人都有自己的生活习惯，那每个人都要重新适应，所以 routine 记得要加一个 s 上去，因为它是 their daily routines，然后再来呢要用连接词，因为还有另外一个动词 develop， 因为前面有 need to， 所以 develop 也是要动词原形 good study habits。我们来看简单的。
Okay, this one's a little bit easier.
对。
It's still a long sentence.
很长。
Right? To get used to the new semester, they need to make changes to their daily routines and form good study habits. So to make or to develop, to form good study habits.
对，那这个地方呢 get used to 出现了，所以你可以不要写 settle into， 你可以说 get used to， 记得 get used to 的 to 是一个介系词，然后呢再来是本来的 change 的话它是动词，这一句的 change 是名词，那我们就会是 make changes to something， 不要记错那个介系词的部分，然后呢除了用 develop 你可以用 form， 那 form 的中文是形成，所以可能会比较难记哦，就是培养好习惯，形成好习惯，你可以直接把它当成一个词组，form good habits, develop good habits. All right?
Yeah.
那我们现在要来
You want to take a break?
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. What's next?
我们现在讲一个比较沉重的话题哦。
Okay.
对。
那我 serious 一点。
好，有点难了哦。你要 serious 一点，应该有点难。好，我们现在讲什么沉重的话题？又要讲到跟天气相关的啦。然后新学期就要讨论一个。
Yeah.
对，他就说近年来极端天气事件发生的频率越来越频繁，像台湾应该就是很热吧？极端的热，我觉得每天都在极端气候。好，那我们可以怎么样造句翻译呢？我们请 Stevie 呢帮我们翻译一下。
Okay, so the first translation we have is, in recent years, extreme weather events have occurred more often.
没错，那近年来，这个近年来要怎么讲？
Well, in recent years, okay, now we could say, if you're talking years, you know, in recent years, we could also say in recent weeks.
近几周来。
Yeah, you know, these, or we could say in recent months.
近几个月。
Yeah, in recent years, in recent decades, but we would never go smaller than that. 我觉得你应该会很少听到 in recent days.
比较
We would just say, over the past few days. So in recent weeks, months, years, decades, we use it for weeks and bigger.
所以同学注意一下，可能 day 就近几天来可能比较少看到，那通常就是你可以看你要怎么搭，几周、几月、几年、几十年都可以。那记得 recent 这个
Yeah, but we wouldn't say in recent hours. Never.
太小了，那个近几个小时来，有点太怪了哈。那有的时候可能会用 recently， 如果它就翻译是最近的话。好，同学要注意，如果你看到 recent 或 recently， 它一定要跟现在完成式连用，几乎80%、85%、90%，所以我们也会特别去抓你有没有用现在完成式。那极端天气要怎么讲？
Extreme weather.
没错，极端的话，我们再一次，这个极端的。
Extreme.
这个字不好念。
We also use extreme for like extreme sports.
极限运动。
So it's also 极什么？
对，极限这样 limit 中文的话。
So extreme.
没错。
Means like especially big or crazy or something.
就是在这个极限值最大最小这样子那发生的话。
One of the words is occur. Okay.
我可以念 occur 吗
No.
Weird.
No.
有一点怪对。
Because if you do it like that, it sounds like slang, and it sounds like you're saying okay. There's a slang that some cultures, like drag culture, you know, like 那种what is it called? 变装。
对，变装皇后。
Yeah, they like occur. You know, but that means okay. So don't say occur. You could say occur. You can say occur, but say it fast. Don't say occur. Say occur.
对，或者是念 occur 就好。
Yeah,
因为
occur.
同学看到那个 o 因为它拼音很奇怪，就 OCCUR， 所以大家会觉得怎么两个 C， 然后又接 U 又接 R， 要怎么念？然后很多同学就会很自然，然后就变成有一种台式的这种拼音法，有边读边这样 O 就长得像 O 就变成 occur 然后要小心。对， 那这里的话我们就来看它就说近年来，所以 in recent years。那先讲极端天气事件，因为它有事件，所以就是 events 要把它加上去 ，extreme weather events。我们有讲过有 recent， 所以要完成式。那既然 event 是复数，就 have occurred。那这里的 occur 也比较麻烦，因为它的过去那个过去分词是要重复 r 加 ed， 所以注意一下 OCCUR。RED 那个 R 少一个会扣分哦 ，more often。OK， 那还有另外一个翻译的方式，帮我们讲一下。
The other one I see is in recent years, extreme weather events have taken place more frequently.
Oh, fancy word.
Yeah, we said more often. More frequently.
对，这里呢就把它变成是 taken place， 这个是发生 occurred taken place 都可以，两个都还蛮常见的。然后同学要注意，发生这个东西一定是主动事件主动。虽然有时候中文会说它发生车祸，但是我们会英文是车祸发生在他身上，所以一定是事件加发生这个动词片语哦。不能用人在前面。然后呢 frequently 是 often 的意思嘛，对不对
？Yeah.Frequently. Frequently.
所以就直接你可以写 often 就好。如果你觉得 frequently 太难的话，对，那个 t 是不是在念的时候也会不见
？You say it when you say it fast, it's still there.
Still there.
But frequently.
对
See the t went.
对
Frequently.
你不要把它弹出来，你不要把它嘴巴位置不要动，你不要把它念成 t 出来，你就固定卡着那个位置，不要把它 t 出来就可以 frequently 这样子就可以了。好，第二题，好，沉重的第二题。这些情况不仅影响人类生活，也对环境造成伤害。这里的话有不仅 A 也 B 的句型，我们先请 Stevie 帮我们翻。
Okay, these situations not only affect human life,but also harm the environment.
好，那台湾同学听到耳朵快烂掉，不仅而且
Yes.
对，不仅而且的英文是什么
？Not only, but also.
很烦，这个考试每一次都在考。情况是什么？情况。
That one's easy. Situation.
影响呢
？Affect.
那我看过 EFFECT， 这里是 A 耶。
Okay, that's different, but sometimes they can sound the same. One is effect, one is affect, one is one is
没错。
So if you want to be clear, just you say effect, affect. But an effect is like a 效果。
对
But to affect something means 就是影响到什么东西，
对
right? So
它的其实是词性的部分哦，因为词性不一样，翻译也会不一样。像 E 开头的那一个，记得它是名词影响。
And we're going to use effect in the next sentence.
没错，那你不要写错哦。动词的话是 A， 好，动词的话是 A， 然后呢，如果是名词是 E 开头。所以同学，如果你写错这个地方，也是会特别帮你扣分的哦。好，然后再来是
很凶
当然了，因为每天看嘛，你要想我可能要一次要改30分，我觉得受不了哦，因为后面的扣越重。来，那个伤害
harm.
对
If you mix up effect and affect, it will harm your test score.
Of course， 当然呢，harm 就是伤害，可以当动词，也可以当名词。等一下你就看到它的名词型。他说这个情况，那你记得那 only but also 是对等连接。对，所以呢，同学要注意，你中间夹的东西要一样，夹动词就夹动词，夹名词就夹名词，你不能一个夹动词，一个没有动词只有名词哦。所以先讲这些情况，不只是那 only 放这边影响人类的生活，我们这里用 affect 当动词，它是及物，所以直接把人类生活放进去。But also 我还要再一个动词 harm 也是一个及物动词 harm the environment environment 一定要加 the 当你讲环境大自然的时候没有加 the 老师也是很爱扣分的哦，要小心。
And also this sentence structure is more advanced.
对，难一点点的这个句构哦。
It really is more advanced, but good to know.
没错，那还有一句。
Yeah, so the next one is also a little more advanced. We say, these situations not only have an effect on human life, but also do harm to the environment.
没错，跑出来了。那你记得 have an effect
Have an
on some-
effect.
对，是 e 开头的，而且你后面要加 on。如果你没有加 on 或加到 in 啊，加到 with， 加到 for 的话，这个也是评分的重点。还有这个 harm 你要用成名词，不是不行，记得 do harm to something。harm 动词及物，如果是名词 do harm to something， 一定要配 do， 你不要配一个奇奇怪怪的哦，什么make 啦，还是什么不行。Do harm to 拜托 do harm to the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all the time we have today.
I hope you've all learned a lot and all had fun, hopefully.
Hopefully, it has a good effect on your grades.
And today is actually a very special day.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, happy Teacher's Day, Stevie.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
I forgot it was Teacher's Day.
Learning sentence translation on Teacher's Day.
Yay.
How exciting.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.